Hello, Edinburgh. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Ride, I would like to thank Fraser for his kind words there. And Fraser, I would like to thank you for your kind words as well to me. I was expecting a bit of a raw deal there with the very nice words. Had I known you were going to be nice to me in your speech, perhaps I would have chosen a different angle for me. It's a bit too late now anyway. So, of course, I'm joking. What can I say about Fraser? Well, he's been like a brother to me. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Stewart, Fraser's younger brother. It's great to be stood up here today because after all these years, Fraser has finally admitted that I am indeed the best man. I'm always cautious of potential legal action for plagiarism, and so as long as I reference that joke to www.thebestmanspeech.com, I believe I should be fine. To avoid the need for constant referencing, I thought for my speech I would try and write it entirely myself without the internet. So if it's lacking humour, logic and general structure, well, that's pretty much the reason. So, I suppose I've known Fraser for like 29 years now, although much like the stag do last weekend, my memory of our initial meeting is a bit limited. So, yes, I think in his speech Fraser mentioned my exceptional organisational skills. Yeah. So, yes. Yes, organisational skills, yes. I'm told not to mention anything of that tonight, that being stag do, so he'll certainly not appreciate me putting all those photos on Facebook this morning, so apologies for that. When I came to actually write my speech, I was offered many pieces of advice. By my parents. I believe it was 7 phone calls in the run up to the wedding saying, whatever you do, don't drink before the speech. Apologies to my parents. And I believe they also offered Fraser some advice, although clearly, as I seem to be standing here as best man, it looks as if Fraser didn't listen to them either. I suppose for those of you who don't know Fraser, I should perhaps tell you a bit about him. Apart from being 5'11", 75 kilos and Sagittarius. Fraser's work is vaguely interesting, so I'll go into that. I believe he works at sea on submarines, in nuclear power stations, and on offshore oil rigs. Now, these all seem like potential film sets from a James Bond film, and he did want to tell me about an occasion where it did seem that way. I believe he went to his Hertz rent-a-car, and rather than his normal one, they only had sports car left. So he took this nifty convertible, sped up to the Highlands. The journey continued by being whisked away in a helicopter to a secret island location, only to be transferred by a speedboat to the submarine's secret location. Now this does indeed sound like the secret agent lifestyle, that is until his job kicks in and he whips out his accelerometer and fast Fourier transform analyzer, dealing with calibrations, and then the illusion is truly gone. He has told me more details about his job, but I just stopped listening. So. There was other stuff he asked me. I have been told that on one occasion, though, I believe you were around the vicinity of Barbados and you did surface, so you could nip off to the island for a party. Now, that I think was. Yeah. I really should have written this last night.
What time did you finish, Stuart?
At 5:36 AM. So as we all know now, Fraser works in submarines, but I have been told in no uncertain terms I might have mentioned the joke about them being long, hard and full of. Fraser, as some of you may know, is a bit of a budding entrepreneur, so as well as his full-time job, part of his main property management business, and he's also recently set up a software company as well with one of the ushers. So yeah, so to say his tax return is complicated is a pretty big understatement. So when people think about a wedding, everyone talks about the stresses in the days leading up to the wedding, and as best man, I would love to say I alleviated some of that pressure, but I really don't think I did much. Even today I was like, yes, so what's happening? So I certainly didn't make things easier for him when I turned up a few days ago with my figure saying, can you do my tax return for me? So, I would genuinely really like to thank you for doing that. So I'd like to take this opportunity to, I don't get many chances to thank Fraser, but I'd like to thank you for all these times you've helped me. There's so many stories I can think of where I've been absolutely screwed and you saved the day. I can think of one in particular where, you know, not very many people would answer their phone early on a Saturday morning, let alone answer it by saying, "What's that? You've missed your train." Right. Do you want me to pick you up and take you on a 4-hour round trip to the airport? Yes. Yes, I do. Page 1 of 4. As I look around the room tonight, I see many people who have travelled from Farfield, as Bruce mentioned. Probably should have spoken to him about his speed before I did mine. So. Friends and relatives who have come as far afield as China, New Zealand and Spain. I didn't do my research as well as Bruce, I think he listened more. So. I know Fraser has a great passion for travelling, and over the years I believe he's climbed active volcanoes, explored jungle temples, swum with piranhas in the rainforest, and been scuba diving with sea turtles. I think we've all done that as well, so what's so good about that? As I mentioned before, he's incredibly managed to visit 54 countries over the years, which is quite impressive. And I believe we have a list here. So Argentina, Austria, Bahrain, Belgium, Bosnia, Brazil, Cambodia, Canada, Chile, to name but a few. But if I was going to name more, it would be Croatia, Denmark, Egypt, Estonia, I could continue, sort of, Finland, France, Germany, I'm sure you get the picture by now, but for those of you who don't, Guatemala, Honduras, Hong Kong, Iceland, I'm actually getting bored of that now. And so I'm sure you're all wondering, you know, which countries has he not been to? So Afghanistan, Albania, Algeria, Andorra, Angola. And Louise, I believe you can look forward to visiting such places as Belarus, Chad. Oh, actually, it's not there. Page 2. Okay, so from this day on, the 30th of January will always be a day that Fraser and Louise remember. I've set my reminder just in case you haven't. I did a bit of research, shock horror, at about 2 AM, into what else occurred on this day. I believe back in this day in 1969, the Beatles had their last ever public performance on top of the Apple Records building in London. Now, on that occasion, the event had to be broken up by police, and so if I could ask my good friends Max and Baker to go a bit easy on the beers tonight so we can avoid a repeat of that incident. So, as well as being my lovely mother's birthday, my research tells me that it is also the birthday of Gene Hackman, Christian Bale and Phil Collins. Now, I can't think of any material for Lex Luthor and Batman, so we're going to have to go for Phil Collins for this next segment. I do apologise for this. It sounded really good last night. I'm sure you all agree that Phil Collins has been an inspiration to us all. And he has inspired me to write the following heartfelt passage. You can't hurry love, no, you just have to wait. I'm sure you'll agree that in the air tonight is the moment Fraser has been waiting for all his life. Against all odds, two hearts, believing in just one night. And I'm sure you'll both have another day in paradise in your groovy kind of love. Fraser sitting and cringing in his seat. I hope he appreciates that it could have been far worse because I could have included Phil's number 1 classic from 1984, He's an Easy Lover. Apparently I shouldn't do that. So, for those of you who are wondering, I'm not sure why I did that whole film segment either. But yeah, at 4 in the morning, I thought I was short of material and it just went in, so there we go. I know one of my duties for the speech was to dig dirt on Fraser, and so I could obviously deliver all these crazy stories about Fraser past, but after thorough credit and police checks, I found very little on Fraser. The only incriminating events I could think of, I played a major role in. I really don't want to divulge too much information to tarnish my impeccable reputation. So, For the stories that I've had to miss out, the full version can be seen at www. Fraser would have kicked my ass if you'd seen that. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate Bruce and Irene for raising such a beautiful, intelligent, successful young lady. And I suppose we should congratulate Anne and Olive for raising such a charming, thoughtful and considerate son. But enough about me. I'm sure you'll all agree that we made a reasonable attempt at Fraser. It's not perfection with me. So. We're on the home straight now. So. Fraser, you've been more than a brother to me. You've helped me through life, offering great guidance and assistance. And if I can be half the man you are, I would be truly happy. Seriously, I've put on a stone since Christmas, and that partly makes me 126% of the man you are. Although I am on a diet, so it's I'm delighted to welcome Louise into the family. I truly could not have wished for a more awesome sister-in-law. Looking beautiful tonight, and her dress, absolutely stunning. I'm just happy to welcome such a beautiful person into the family. Yeah, that's so good, isn't it? I'm told that they have a lovely safari to look forward to in Tanzania for the honeymoon. If anyone's been to one of Fraser's enthralling slideshows, you'll know how much he likes his photography. So my advice is best to avoid them for a few weeks after their return. So, anyway, as we're all gathered here, we should probably all take the time to thank, first of all, Fraser for popping the question, and of course Louise for substantially lowering her standards. Joking aside, if I could just be serious for a moment, then I'm pretty sure I'd be in a lot less trouble from my parents. But no, I would like to be serious, and I could not be more happy for the two of you. You're both absolutely fantastic. Fraser, you've been an awesome brother, and I hope you continue to be an awesome brother. I can't thank you enough. Louise, I look forward to many more enjoyable SingStar events, etc. But yeah, if you can cut out the kind of sloppy bit there from the film footage, that would be much appreciated. But in summary, if we can all raise our glasses just to the brave good of everybody, because everyone's been great, and here's to an enjoyable evening. And thank you very much. Page 5 of 5.